Romans 3, verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that those may be justified in thy sayings, and mightiest overcome when thou art judged. First off, Lord, give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh, to the honors to the apostles of Great Stone, your Shamji brothers out there, pushing the work of the Lord in sincerity and truth. I think I might entitle this one something along those lines. What if you do, what if you don't believe? Somewhere along those lines. Here we are, heading towards a sinister time, one of the most sinister times, that this earth has seen, and with it there's a lot of there's spirits of the scorners, spirits of the scoffers, spirits of the unbelievers, is even being more so or just as much being manifested. You have men coming out, making music, saying, I don't know who the artist is, to be honest. I didn't even listen to the song. We was having a discussion about it. And one of the brothers was talking about it. A song talking about, God is not coming. So that you can stop looking forward to that. Right? There is also, everybody know about Yuval Harari talking about, you're looking for some God behind the clouds. But that's not going to happen. Hey, you all out here, you have no idea what's going on. And you see, the scripture say that is the law that blind you. Right? The scripture said the deceived and deceiver are his. Right? And he's the one that put a cloak over your eyes so you can't see it. But you best believe that, the Lord Yahushua is going to make his return. Right? He's going to make his return. Right? And you might look at me and say, oh, how you know that? Because I've been, we, not only me, but we, the whole elect of the Lord have been following the precepts. We've been following the guidelines. We've been following the prophecies, right, that the Lord had set out. Right, we're following the Spirit. Through the Spirit, we've been following the words that were written, in this book, right, as we call it a roll, and we've been consuming the whole roll. So with that, through the Spirit, we know that time is drawing near, right? In Thessalonians, he said, I'm gonna get it after this, right? We know that time is drawing near, right? And as this precept right here is saying, if you don't believe that, so what? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Let God be true and every man a liar. So you can say whatever you want to say, right? You did not write the script, right? You're a part of a movie that's playing out, and you don't know how the movie ends. But guess what? The writer does, right? And the writer already told us, how it's going to end. So you think because you went to some theological school, or because you went to, Harvard, or because you think you're so street smart, and you know the definition of a few words, or maybe you can speak, maybe you know 2 or 3 different languages, it doesn't make what you say credible, right? Whoa, what gives you credibility? The scripture even go ahead, hey, let me tell you something. The scripture even go ahead and say, if a prophet prophesy peace, when that which that prophet prophesies, when it come to pass, then he said the Lord had sent him. But until then, That's not what the Lord had prescribed for this place. Yeah, so it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter, how educated you think you are. It doesn't matter, where you think you've been, or what one of the things that you find that people who know you used to, what we say, fry you, is that because they know you, they say, oh, we know him. What could he be speaking? What does he know about the Bible? What does he know about the Lord? We grew up in the same area, and they did that to Yahushai. So isn't he the carpenter's son? Right? But what they don't understand, right, is how the Lord took his elect and made them holy, by definition, a set apart. Right? He made them separate from the flock. Right? And that was the doing of the Lord. And it is spiritual, right? It is not carnal discerned. It's something you have to have a spiritual understanding to get, what the Lord did and how he did it. Right? But, what I was saying before, you see, because you're not watching, you're not paying attention to what's going on in this world, in this society. Because if you were, you would have known how serious this thing is, right? And how close we are. You see? That you see what's taking place now in the Middle East with that war? You have no idea. That has been prophesied in the scriptures. Right? And I came in this truth, hearing the apostles talk about that prophecy. Right? And here we are living to see these prophecies being fulfilled. You have a few so-called plantation Christians that that will say, hey, yeah, this is prophecy, this prophecy going down, but they can't break it down as good as the men of the Lord. Right? I mean, we can tell you, how it's broken down and what's exactly going on. Right? Let me get. I was get that. I would get that Thessalonians 5:1, right? 5:1. Right, this is 1 Thessalonians 5:1. It says, but of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord cometh as a thief in the night. Well, what do you think that means? Right, you think it means when it's going to happen, everybody's going to know that, hey, the Lord's coming tomorrow. Right? Yahushua himself said he don't know the exact hour. Right? But the Most High Yahweh knows. So it's not going to be a situation where, so if you see everybody saying, hey, the Lord is coming next week, then you can be skeptical about that, because that is not what the precept said. The precept said no one shall know. So for the moment you see somebody saying, hey, this is the time, then no, that is wrong. Right? And if you listen to us here, bring out this truth, you hear us say, it is close based on a timeline and things that are taking place, right? Because that is what we have. That is what we have. We have the signs that the Lord gave us, right? We have this, as the scripture had said, earthquake in diverse places. The scripture had said, uproars among the people. Wars and rumors of wars. In relation to Matthew 24, right? That is what the scriptures talk about. And that is what we use. Right now, there are other examples. In 2nd Ezra 9, 2nd Ezra 15, somewhere down there. Yeah, but as the scripture said, a thief in the night is going to sneak upon you. So when you least expect it, that's when it's going to grab you, right? They're going to, just like a thief in the night come and take away him comfort and him gone, right? You didn't even know he was there, and you didn't expect him either, right? So that is how you should look at it. When the scripture says a thief in the night, you're not going to expect it, right? And it's going to sneak upon you. You're going to lose something you're not even going to know until it's too late, until it's gone. Right, continuing. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. You shall not escape. You know, so right now you say, hey, who? There's no such thing. There's no God that's coming back. There's no power that's coming back for no people, whatever. And because of that saying, you live complacent, right? You move on life. You move on your life as there is no such thing, right? And that in itself is going to be a demise. You know, you should ask yourself right now. Ask yourself, how would you feel if you were wrong? How would you feel knowing that you're wrong? How would you deal with that situation? That's what you need to ask yourself, right? And then you will understand. But hey, mostly you're not going to take the time out to do that. As I said, this is legit. There's a spirit of slumber on you, so you can't see it, right? Because you weren't meant to see it. Let me just finish this. He said, "But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should it overtake you as a thief," right? Because you're watching, right? And you see the problem with these other Israelite groups, right? You know, your Basha saying, you know, I can't get over it, saying Alice Jones is our high priest, whatever. You know, listen. If you listen to yourself talk, you're just a bunch of clowns, you know, bunch of balonies trying to sound smart, right? Because when the truth hits you so hard, you don't know how to go around it. Oh, it's the conspiracy. But it's the truth, right? These are the things that are happening, right? You might not be affected right now, but guess what? You're being trapped, right? Then the devil's devices. The scripture said that. So, hey, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices because we're watching him and we're seeing what he's doing. You know, we're seeing how he's setting up his traps, right? We're watching him getting prepared. Not that any form of preparing can save you, because he's trapping you from all angles, right? Hey, this system that they're gonna bring in peace, as the scripture is perfect. The scripture said that no man shall buy or sell save he that have the mark. The scripture is perfect, right? You're gonna be trapped. There's no way you can live in this society as a normal individual without having that implant. That's what's gonna come down to. So you don't watch and see what's gonna happen, right? Ye are the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as others do, but let us watch and be sober. Right? And that's what you got to do. Hey, these men were sent to be mockers and scoffers. Right? They were sent to weed out the ones that are not a part of the elect of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So you got to let them take their course. The scripture says offenses must come, but one to him by which of the offense cometh. That's what the scripture says. So, you know, with that, you know, I'm going to say Shalom.